Welcome to Whispering Cottage Tales, a sanctuary where timeless tales, gentle narration, and quiet atmospheres help you drift into rest. Before we begin tonight's journey, I'd love to know, where are you listening from? Share it in the comments below. It's always wonderful to see our little community stretching across the world. Now, it's time to get comfortable. Settle into your bed or favorite chair. Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath, and let the day melt away. Allow my voice to carry you softly into sleep, to a place where imagination flows and dreams begin. In the hours when London's daylight begins its gentle retreat, when the gray December afternoon yields to the deeper gray of approaching evening, there exists a particular street in Bloomsbury where time itself seems to move with a more measured tread. The fog, that ever-faithful companion of the city's winter months, drifts through the narrow thoroughfare with languid purpose, wrapping itself about the lampposts and softening the austere lines of Georgian facades into something altogether more dreamlike and forgiving. It is upon this street, nestled between a solicitor's chambers and a modest tea room whose windows glow with the warm promise of Earl Grey and buttered scones, that one finds Pemberton's books, an establishment of such venerable age that its very timbers seem imbued with the accumulated wisdom of centuries. The shop's bow window, its glass thick and slightly warped with age, displays a carefully arranged collection of leather-bound volumes, their spines catching what little light remains of the day and reflecting it back in muted golds and deep burgundies. Above the door, painted in letters of faded gilt upon a sign that creaks ever so gently in the evening breeze, the name Pemberton's announces itself with a quiet dignity that speaks of traditions upheld and standards maintained through generations. The door itself, constructed of oak, darkened by time and polished by the touch of countless hands, stands slightly ajar, as though extending an invitation to all who might seek refuge from the gathering dusk. Within the shop, the atmosphere is one of profound tranquility, a sanctuary constructed not merely of walls and shelves, but of that peculiar quality of stillness that accumulates in places dedicated to the preservation of knowledge and story. The air itself seems weighted with the scent of old paper and leather, of beeswax, and the faintest hint of pipe tobacco, creating an olfactory symphony that speaks more eloquently than words of comfort and contemplation. Mr. Pemberton himself, proprietor of this literary haven, an inheritor of a calling passed down through 3 generations, moves among his shelves with the careful deliberation of one who knows each volume as intimately as a shepherd knows his flock. He is a man of advancing years, his frame spare and angular, his countenance bearing the gentle lines that come from a lifetime spent in the company of books and those who love them. His spectacles, perched upon a nose of considerable prominence, catch the lamplight as he bends to examine a newly acquired tome, his fingers tracing the embossed lettering upon its cover with a tenderness that borders on reverence. The shop itself stretches back from the street in a series of interconnected rooms, each one lined floor to ceiling with shelves that groan beneath their burden of literary treasures. Here, arranged with a system comprehensible only to Mr. Pemberton himself, reside works of philosophy alongside penny dreadfuls, volumes of poetry nestled companionably next to treatises on natural history, novels of sensation sharing space with learned dissertations. It is in its own fashion a democracy of the written word, where each volume, regardless of its pretensions or humble origins, finds its place upon the shelves. As the afternoon's light continues its inevitable decline, Mr. Pemberton makes his customary rounds, tending to those small rituals that mark the transition from day to evening. He moves to the front of the shop, where a lamp of brass and green glass stands upon the counter, its flame already kindled against the encroaching darkness. With practiced hands, he adjusts the wick, coaxing forth a warmer glow that spreads across the polished wood of the counter and illuminates the brass cash register that sits there like some mechanical sentinel, its ornate keys gleaming softly. The gas lamps affixed to the walls throughout the shop are next to receive his attention. One by one, he turns their valves, and the soft hiss of gas is followed by the gentle pop of ignition as each flame springs to life. The light they cast is soft and golden, creating pools of warmth that push back against the shadows, gathering in the corners and between the towering shelves. It is a light that invites lingering, that suggests there is no need for haste, that time, here within these walls, operates according to more generous principles than those governing the bustling world beyond. Outside, the fog has thickened, pressing itself against the shop windows with an almost affectionate insistence. The street beyond is reduced to suggestions and intimations, the indistinct form of a passing hansom cab, its wheels making a muffled clatter upon the cobblestones, the brief, ghostly appearance of a pedestrian, their form materializing from the mist only to dissolve again moments later. The diffuse glow of other shop windows, each one a small island of light in the enveloping gray. Within Pemberton's, however, the fog is held at bay, and the small world of books and lamplight maintains its peaceful sovereignty. Mr. Pemberton returns to his place behind the counter, settling himself upon a high stool that has molded itself over the years to accommodate his particular contours. Before him lies an account book, its pages filled with neat columns of figures recorded in his precise, slightly old-fashioned hand. He takes up his pen, dips it into the inkwell, a heavy crystal piece that has sat upon this counter since his grandfather's time, and begins to make the day's final entries. The scratch of the nib upon paper creates a gentle susurration that mingles with the other sounds of the shop. The soft tick of the bracket clock upon the wall, marking time with its measured precision. The occasional creak of timber settling in the warmth. The barely audible hiss of the gas lamps. The rustle of pages as an unseen draft causes a book to release its whisper. It is a symphony of quietude, each sound contributing to a whole that is greater than its parts, a soundscape that seems designed by Providence itself to induce contemplation and peace. As Mr. Pemberton works, his thoughts drift, as they so often do at this hour, to the long succession of evenings he has spent in this very spot. He recalls his youth, when his own grandfather presided over this domain, when young Pemberton would sit upon a stool too tall for his short legs, watching with wide eyes as his grandfather conducted the mysterious business of bookselling. He remembers the weight of responsibility he felt upon assuming stewardship of the shop, the determination to honor the legacy entrusted to him. And he reflects, with a satisfaction that warms him more thoroughly than any fire, that he has done his duty, has maintained the standards, and preserved the character of this place through times both prosperous and lean. The bell above the door gives a silvery chime, announcing the arrival of a visitor. Mr. Pemberton glances up from his ledger, his expression one of mild curiosity, tempered by the deep calm that characterizes all his interactions. The figure that enters, brushing fog droplets from their coat, is Mrs. Hartley, a widow of refined sensibilities and an insatiable appetite for novels of a romantic nature. She is a regular patron, her visits as much a part of the shop's rhythm as the lighting of the lamps or the winding of the clock. "Good evening, Mrs. Hartley," Mr. Pemberton intones, his voice carrying that particular quality of gentle formality that marks those who have lived their lives in commerce of the more genteel variety. "The evening finds you well, I trust?" "Indeed, Mr. Pemberton," she replies, her voice soft but clear, carrying within it the cultured tones of one who has taken care with her education. "Though I confess the fog grows quite extraordinary. One can scarce see a yard before oneself." "The season encourages such atmospheric excesses," Mr. Pemberton observes with a slight smile. "Yet I find there is something rather companionable about a proper London fog. It lends the city a certain intimacy, does it not?" Mrs. Hartley inclines her head in agreement, unwinding the scarf from about her neck with movements that speak of long practice with such winter necessities. "You have received, I hope, the new volume by Mrs. Radcliffe? You mentioned it might arrive this week." "I have indeed," Mr. Pemberton confirms, rising from his stool with a slight stiffness that speaks to joints not quite as supple as they once were. "I took the liberty of setting it aside for you, knowing your particular fondness for her work." He disappears into the depths of the shop, his form soon swallowed by the shadows between the shelves, though the sound of his careful footsteps remains audible. Mrs. Hartley, left alone, allows her gaze to wander about the familiar space, taking comfort in its unchanging nature. Here is the same shelf of poetry she has browsed countless times. There, the collection of travel narratives that has sparked so many pleasant daydreams. The shop, with its gentle disorder and accumulated treasures, feels more like home than many a drawing room. Mr. Pemberton returns, bearing a volume wrapped in brown paper and tied with string. "I believe you shall find it entirely satisfactory," he says, placing it upon the counter with the reverence one might accord a religious relic. "The binding is particularly fine, and the type is clear, a consideration I know you appreciate." As Mrs. Hartley examines her purchase, expressing her satisfaction with small murmurs of approval, the door chimes once more. This time the arrival is young Timothy, the errand boy from the solicitor's next door, who comes twice weekly to collect the legal journals to which his employer subscribes. He is a lad of perhaps 13 years, all angles and energy barely contained, though within the precincts of Pemberton's, he has learned to moderate his natural exuberance to something approaching decorum. "Evening, Mr. Pemberton," he offers, pulling his cap from his head in a gesture that speaks well of his upbringing, despite his rough accent. Mr. Fenwick sends his regards and asks, "Might I collect this week's journals?" "Of course, Timothy," Mr. Pemberton responds with undiminished courtesy, treating the boy with the same respect he would accord the Lord Mayor himself. "They are prepared and waiting. I shall fetch them directly." As the evening progresses, others come and go. The scholarly gentleman seeking a particular volume on ancient Greek. The young woman who slips in almost apologetically to return a borrowed book. The elderly clergyman who spends a pleasant quarter hour discussing theological matters with Mr. Pemberton, while the fog presses ever more insistently against the windows. Each visitor is received with the same gentle courtesy, each transaction conducted with unhurried care, each departure marked by the silvery chime of the bell and Mr. Pemberton's quiet wish for a pleasant evening. Gradually, as the clock marks the passage of the hours, the frequency of visitors diminishes until at last the shop falls into that profound stillness that comes when human activity ceases and a space is left to itself. Mr. Pemberton, having completed his accounts and tidied his counter, takes up a book, a favorite volume of essays he has read many times before, and settles into the worn armchair that sits beside the small cast iron stove in the rear of the shop. The stove radiates a gentle warmth, its belly glowing with the coals that Mr. Pemberton has carefully banked to last through the evening. The light from the nearby lamp falls across the pages of his book, and as he reads, his lips move slightly, forming the words in silence, savoring their cadence and wisdom. Outside, the fog has achieved complete dominion over the street, transforming London into a city of mysteries and half-seen wonders. But within Pemberton's books, all is clarity and peace. The clock continues its patient marking of time. The lamps burn steadily in their brackets. The books stand upon their shelves, each one a doorway to other worlds, other times. And Mr. Pemberton, surrounded by the companions of a lifetime, reads on into the evening, at peace with himself and with the small, perfect world he has helped to preserve. As the night deepens and the city settles into its nocturnal rhythms, the shop remains a small beacon of warmth and light, a testament to the enduring power of the written word and the quiet dedication of those who serve as its guardians. In this place, where past and present mingle like the fog and lamplight beyond the windows, there exists a sanctuary from the world's clamor, a refuge for the spirit, a home for all who seek solace in the company of books. And so the evening unfolds, gentle and unhurried, a poem written in lamplight, in leather bindings, in the scratch of pen on paper, in the soft turn of well-loved pages. It is an ordinary evening, and therefore extraordinary, a moment of peace in the endless turning of days, a reminder that beauty and contentment may be found in the simplest of rituals, faithfully observed. Let the image of that warm bookshop stay with you now. Feel the weight of a beloved book in your hands. Smell the leather and paper. Hear the gentle tick of the clock, marking time's passage. You are safe. You are at peace. The day's journey is complete. Rest now, dear traveler. Let sleep find you as gently as fog settling over the London streets. Good night.
Bye.